Winds out of the northwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Cloudy skies expected tonight. Mixed precipitation possible at times. Lows around 28. A mix of clouds and sun tomorrow. Chance of snow. High temperatures reach up to 48. Get weather anytime by calling 824-6101 or online at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. Right now, it's 34 degrees.
WTIM.
You're listening to WTIM, your information station. Time now for your expanded local news. I'm Reed Kamai. Jim Baker, the chief deputy of the Christian County Sheriff's Office, is leaning on his experience with the agency in his candidacy for Christian County Sheriff. He is running as a Republican with the primary election scheduled for Tuesday, March 17th. He has served in the department for 27 years, with 4.5 of those in his current role. Chief Deputy Baker says he sees crimes against children and mental health as the biggest issues for the department to address.
Well, I think we're multifaceted. We're always combating drugs, crime, domestics, but challenges moving forward seem to be a lot focused on. I'd like to put an emphasis on protecting the youth through to prevent child exploitation and grooming. Work with state and federal agencies as well as some grant funding to prevent some of that. But one of the biggest challenges is mental health. Mental health seems to be an epidemic. Statewide. We deal with it in the field as well as in the jail. A lot of times these people are having a mental health crisis and the deputies are the first ones to respond, but they're not mental health professionals. I have been working with the health department. My vision or goal is to eventually have an on-call advocate or professional that once we secure it, we can get somebody out there in the field to assist with that crisis, as well as making regular visits more often in the jail to provide mental health stability within the jail. So that's a huge thing.
Regarding mental health, he says his agency's work is the first step through resources secured in his time on the job, but believes there is more to do.
We've always got a responsibility of check welfare, suicidal subjects, stuff like that. Our role is obviously to provide as much help and service to those going through that crisis as possible. So there again, we just need to, we could always use more resources, but it's an overall public safety. We want a safer outcome by having resources for not just the deputy responding, but the person going through the crisis. When it comes to resources, some of the best avenues we've got, since being chief deputy, I've acquired over $140,000 worth of grant funding for equipment, safety concerns, implementation, as well as we started a MAR program within the jail to provide recovery program resources. There again, I've been in contact with the local FBI agency in Springfield, as well as worked with the state police, bringing those resources in and getting funding for equipment to combat child exploitation, as well as mental health through grant funding and resources like that.
Chief Deputy Baker says he has sought transparency in his current role, citing his relationships with members of the press, along with the CCSO IL app.
I believe since I took over in chief deputy almost 5 years ago, Sheriff allowed me to start getting the experience with all the local TV stations, as well as here. As you know, we come in once a month to provide a monthly review of what's going on. One of my big initiatives in communications and transparency was, I led the acquisition of the Sheriff's app. I'm the one that runs that, post on it. I've got some guys that help me out when it comes to road closures, but there again, I wanted a better way to communicate directly with the community. So that's why I implemented the connecting the citizens with the sheriff's office. And there again, we're able to push it real-time information out through the app. But at any request of anybody, I just done an interview the other day about the new Locking Your Gun Safety Act up. There's not a news media out there that doesn't have my contact, my information.
The candidate concluded by touting his experience and accomplishments in his current role and broader law enforcement career.
I will say this, when the voters go to the polls, they're basically hiring, right? It's the only difference is they're the voters, they're hiring somebody for sheriff, and that sheriff needs to be able to do the job from day one. It's not something you learn after the job. I've got the years of experience. I've been leading with experience, serving with integrity, and believe that I've had the opportunity to get the experience needed to be your next sheriff from day one. Any job that they go to hire, they look at their resume, proven results, and experience. And I believe that I have that to be the next sheriff of Christian County.
More information on elections in Illinois is available at the Illinois State Board of Elections website, elections.il.gov. Chief Deputy Jim Baker appeared as a guest on the WTIM Morning Show. Gas prices across Illinois held steady last week. According to a new survey from Gas Buddy, the average price for a gallon of regular gas in Illinois was $2.99, unchanged from the previous week. That's about 10 cents higher than a month ago, but nearly 26 cents cheaper than this time last year. Gas Buddy reports prices across the state ranged widely, with the cheapest station at $2.39 a gallon and the most expensive at $4.29, a difference of nearly $1.90 per gallon. Nationally, the average price of gasoline rose 2.6 cents in the past week to $2.87 a gallon, while the average price of diesel increased slightly to $3.62 per gallon. Looking around central Illinois, prices in Peoria averaged $2.93, Champaign sat at $2.82, and drivers in the St. Louis area paid about $2.76 a gallon. Gas Buddy petroleum analyst Patrick DeHaan says gas prices could continue to inch higher in the coming weeks as refineries begin seasonal maintenance and transition to summer fuel blends. However, increased oil production and global supply conditions could help limit sharper increases at the pump. State standardized testing will soon begin in schools across Illinois, and Central A&M is looking for better outcomes than in recent years. The district is in a school improvement process in which it takes steps to identify and address academic shortcomings. This spring's tests could serve as an indicator of whether or not there has been progress. Sasha Young is the superintendent of Central A&M schools. She says she and consultants have been combing through the data to determine next steps.
Last year, we were lower than we wanted to be with our state testing scores. We have a school who is working through the school improvement process and making gains. And the opportunity that comes with needing to be in the school improvement process allows us to really sit down and focus and break apart all of the things that we need to work on. So my school building that is in the school improvement process has been working diligently to look at the data and figure out, like, how do we make this better next time? And so we've been working on prepping, I guess you would say, for the state testing that comes in March at all of our buildings. But pretty diligently, we've taken a deep dive into the data. We've made changes in instruction. We've made changes in how we prep for the state testing. So we're gearing up to be excited about state testing here.
Young says the data is just part of the process. She also hears from teachers and other school and district colleagues on how instruction is delivered.
Where are our students struggling the most, and where are they being the most successful, and how does that reflect what's actually happening in the classroom, right? Like, is there a gap because that subject matter isn't covered before the state testing happens in March, or is there a gap because that's something that, we just didn't get to, right? So figuring out where the gaps are, where our students are struggling, and planning for that helps us attack the testing season the next year. But it really is a deep dive into individual student data, classroom data, building data, and then district data, and sitting down with colleagues and potentially the year before colleagues and the year after colleagues, and just aligning what we teach, how we teach it, and how the students are learning it, so that we can better tackle some of the needs that we have discovered.
As for the school's FFA chapter, 5 students finished in the top 2 in a variety of categories at a proficiency judging competition. It took place earlier this month at Maroa Forsyth.
During this proficiency judging, the members are interviewed about their supervised agricultural experience in areas like ag education, equine entrepreneurship, small animal care. We had 4 of our members place first and 1 place second out of those 9. And the 4 first place students get to compete at the district level. So it's kind of exciting. We have a very active FFA. They are constantly, working in the community, volunteering, going to all these different proficiency judgings and, competitions around ag education. And they do us proud. So we're excited to be sending them to the district level for some of these areas.
Find out more about the Central A&M School District at camraiders.com. Sasha Young appeared as a guest on the WTIM Morning Show. And now a word from Taylorville Community Credit Union.
Looking to save more and stress less? This is Will Perkins. At Taylorville Community Credit Union, we're here to help you build a stronger financial future with great loan and deposit rates, convenient locations, and service from people you know and trust. We're member-owned, member-focused, and proud to serve anyone who lives or works in Christian, Montgomery, or Shelby counties. Discover the credit union difference. TCCU is your partner in financial success. Member NCUA.
An agriculture teacher at Central A&M High School is being recognized for her work in the classroom and with student leadership. Betsy Bergner was surprised yesterday with the Golden Owl Award for Top Agriculture Educator in East Central Illinois District 4 of the Future Farmers of America, also known as FFA. Bergner, who serves as the school's agriculture teacher and FFA coordinator, was selected from a field of 113 agriculture teachers across the district. As part of the award, she received a $500 check. Organizers say the Golden Owl Award recognizes educators who demonstrate excellence in agricultural education and a strong commitment to student development. Bergner says the recognition belongs as much to her students as it does to her.
I grew up on a small family farm, a hobby farm, you could say. But when I joined, I was in 4-H growing up. And when I got into high school, I joined FFA and absolutely loved it. And I just love everything about it and wanted to, continue that on and have my own program that I could try and instill that love of agriculture in kids and just kind of try and get a deep bond into them. And then FFA, that just kind of ties all the kids together and just makes it like one big family here. I feel like everybody just really enjoys whenever we have anything going on.
She also says the award came as a complete surprise.
Yes, I had no idea. I thought we were just putting on an FFA week assembly for all the kids and just kind of get them involved in FFA week and tell them about agriculture and ag classes. And yeah, I had no clue.
What does this mean for you and then for the program?
This means a lot to me. There's a lot of wonderful ag teachers out there.
And Bergner had also received the 2026 ISBE Award of Excellence, which Central A&M Superintendent Sasha Young spoke about in her interview.
Basically what it is we have this program with ISB where we can nominate amazing staff, amazing teachers for either a Those Who Excel Award or Teacher of the Year Award. And it honors educators who've made a significant contribution in public or private education in the state of Illinois. And last week we learned that Betsy has been awarded the Award of Excellence, one of the nominees for the state of Illinois, and she'll be honored at a banquet later in April. And so that's exciting to have our FFA being so successful, and then to get such a state honor for the person who's kind of in charge of FFA. So yeah, they kind of tie nicely together, and Betsy puts a lot into her teaching and a lot into FFA program, and it paid off.
School officials and students gathered for the presentation yesterday for the Golden Owl Award, which took place during the school day. District leaders say Bergner's impact can be seen both inside the classroom and through the school's FFA program. The Golden Owl Award is presented annually to honor outstanding agriculture educators across Illinois. The maritime industry may be another potential opportunity for the ethanol market. It's something that has the attention of Krista Swanson, chief economist for the National Corn Growers Association. Swanson spoke at last week's Illinois Farm Bureau Governmental Affairs Leadership Conference. A relatively new FFA chapter in Illinois is seeing good growth. Lila Cook is the reporter for the Breeze Modern Day Catholic FFA chapter. And this, of course, comes in National FFA Week. Now to obituaries, which can be found at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. 89-year-old Donna J. Henninger of Taylorville died on Monday. Visitation is this coming Monday from 10 till 11 at McClure Funeral Home in Taylorville. The funeral service will immediately follow. Burial will be at Oak Hill Cemetery. Funeral arrangements are being handled by McClure Funeral Home and Cremation Services in Taylorville. 94-year-old Doris Long of Greenville, formerly of Sorrento, died last Wednesday. Visitation is April 18 from 11 till noon at Donald Wigan Funeral Home in Greenville. A celebration of life will immediately follow. Interment will be at Brown Cemetery. Funeral arrangements are being handled by Donald Wigan Funeral Home in Greenville. 79-year-old Betty Fines of Awanaco died last Thursday. Visitation is this Saturday from 2 till 4 at Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. The funeral service will immediately follow. Graveside services will take place on this coming Tuesday at 10 at Oak Hill Cemetery. Funeral arrangements are being handled by Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. 93-year-old James M. Wilcox of Pana died last Wednesday. Visitation is this Saturday from 11 till noon at McClure Funeral Home in Taylorville. The funeral service will immediately follow. Funeral arrangements are being handled by McClure Funeral Home and Cremation Services in Taylorville. And 88-year-old Sona Beavers of Taylorville died January 16th. A memorial mass will take place on March 6th at 10 at St. Mary's Catholic Church in Taylorville. Interment will be at Green Hill Cemetery. Funeral arrangements are being handled by McClure Funeral Home and Cremation Services in Taylorville. It is currently fair and 35 degrees outside. We're expecting mostly sunny skies today with a high near 47. Wind gusts as high as 16 miles per hour today. Now, going into tomorrow, there is rain and snow likely before 4 in the morning, and then a chance of snow. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 28. And then tomorrow in the day, mostly sunny with a high near 48. Get local news anytime at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com and every hour right here on WTIM, your only local news radio.
This is Blaine Cornwell with Prairie State Insurance. Running a commercial business today can be extremely complex with rising variable costs and labor shortages. Let us simplify your insurance decisions. With Auto Owners Insurance, they have several commercial packages and comprehensive endorsements that takes the worry out of having the insurance coverage you need. As an independent agent, we partner with Auto Owners Insurance to develop a no-worry insurance program. Contact me, Blaine Cornwell, at 824-6911 to see what Auto Owners Insurance can do for you.
There's only one Central Illinois radio station that brings you the memories of the 60s and early 70s.
Show. And now a word from Taylorville Community Credit Union. More about the Central as a guest on. And now a